Stage 1 and Stage 2 are pressed for flight.
High flow engine purges enabled. Deluge activated.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Beginning pitch over. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
All right, T plus 32 seconds and our 35th Electron mission is off the pad and on its way to orbit. The next mission milestone will be max Q, when Electron experiences the most amount of mechanical stress as it heads skyward at the intersection of vehicle speed rising and air density dropping.
Electron is supersonic. Approaching max Q. Past max Q.
There it is from Mission Control. Electron has cleared max Q and is now throttling back up to full noise as it continues onto space.
We are currently travelling at a speed of 2,400 kilometres per hour and at an altitude of 22 kilometres as we approach the next mission milestones. 3 in quick succession this time. First, the 9 3D printed Rutherford engines will throttle down before shutting off completely. This is known as main engine cutoff, or MECO for short. Then we'll have separation of the first and second stages, followed quickly by ignition of the single vacuum-optimised Rutherford engine on Electron's second stage to carry us the rest of the way to orbit.
When Electron's booster is on its way home to Earth, we will try and stick with the Stage 1 live camera feed for as long as we can so we can watch Electron's ocean recovery attempt unfold. But for now, it is back to Mission Control for those next 3 launch milestones.
Entered burner to deck mode.
MECO confirmed. Stage 2 ignition successful. Stage 2 guidance nominal.
Right on cue there with MECO stage separation and
successful.
ignition of the Stage 2 Rutherford engine. Next on the checklist is separating the rocket's fairing and jettisoning the nose cone that protects the payloads during flight. This middle of the night launch means it might be too dark to see the separation event on our screen, but keep an eye out anyway as we listen into Mission Control for the call out.
HVB battery discharge is nominal.
Fairing jettison succeeded.
And there's the
Stage 2
confirmation
propulsion
we were
nominal.
waiting for. Electron's fairing has successfully been deployed. Stage 2 is continuing well with its payloads to orbit. The vehicle is currently reaching speeds of more than 8,500 kilometres per hour at an altitude of 135 kilometres.
Stage 2 propulsion holding nominal.
All right, at over 11,000 kilometers an hour and more than 180 kilometers in the air, this first launch from LC1 this year is going fantastic so far after 2 back-to-back launches from LC2 that started 2023 for Electron. That second LC2 mission actually flew just last week, so launching today marks the fastest we have ever turned around 2 missions. Our previous record was 15 days in 2022 between Capstone and a mission for the NRO. Back to the beak that goes on though, and as I said, all looks nominal. You can see there that Stage 2 Rutherford engine is burning bright to orbit.
Stage 2 guidance nominal, 200 seconds remaining.
HVB battery discharge nominal, approaching hot swap in roughly 30 seconds.
So with Electron's second stage now at over 194 kilometers in the air, the vehicle will be coming up on its next event, the action of swapping the batteries that keep the second stage's Rutherford engine going. As our 3D printed engines are powered by batteries, by this point in the launch sequence, those batteries are getting low on energy. And as you might have caught on your screen there, they have since dropped off because our engine has switched to the other set on board to keep it going. That's why we call it the battery hot swap.
Electron Stage 2 continues on its way to orbit at an altitude of 198 kilometres and a velocity of 17,000 kilometres per hour.
You saw it there for a brief second, but it looks like we have actually lost the video connection to Electron's booster coming back to Earth there. That's not to be unexpected, so don't panic. It's when the stage moves out of range to receive the live camera telemetry. We are still expecting the first stage's main parachute to deploy shortly at about 8 minutes into the mission. And we'll continue to listen into mission control to hear whether that's gone ahead.
Stage 2 performance holding nominal.
Main parachute deployed on recovery.
We have just heard from mission control there that the main chute was successful. The Electron is now powering its way down to 158 meters per second ahead of the stage landing in the ocean.
So with a velocity of 26,000 kilometers an hour and an altitude of over 191 kilometers, the final mission milestone for the second stage will be SECO, or second engine cutoff. And that is when the Rutherford engine throttles down before shutting off just ahead of Electron's third stage, what we call the kick stage, separating and carrying on with the mission with BlackSky's payload. And as you just saw there on the screen, we have had that successful shutdown of that second stage. So it's now onward for our third stage to deploy those satellites to orbit.
BlackSky satellites are heading to a circular orbit today, but at the moment our kick stage is on an elliptical first pass. To get into the required circular orbit, we have a tiny engine on the kick stage called Curie that will course correct the mission by orienting the kick stage on the right trajectory for payload deployment. We won't have live video of this payload deployment for this mission, but we will be back to listen out for those final few calls from Mission Control, along with an animated view of the end of the mission to visualise what is happening up there in low Earth orbit.
Meanwhile, for recovery, the Stage 1 splashdown is expected in approximately 8 minutes. We'll come back from our break to watch and discuss while the camera feed is up if we can get it. So stick with us for confirmation of that shortly. We'll see you back here soon.